So for me, definitely 100%, I would highly recommend this not only to my friends, but also to the future takers or anyone who really is aiming to get high scores for the PTA exam.
You have achieved such an amazing score, like all 90. So how are you feeling now?
Yeah, well, first of all, I actually kind of like didn't expect to get 90 across all of the sections. I was really targeting just to get at least 79. So I was pretty shocked when when I was reviewing the test result and realized that I got 90 in all of the sections. And I think one of the reasons that I really got this high scores is because I mainly studied through the live class. So I can confirm that all of the tips, the tricks, and all of the templates really works in order for us to get, high scores for the PTA exam.
Okay, that's good. All right. So only here in Brisbane PTA Study Center, we teach you a special trick especially in repeat sentence, right? Uh, what is that? Like 5 words you have to grab and say it very fast, right? So did that help?
Yeah. Well, I actually used that trick for I think around 2 to 3 questions during the exam. Specifically, these are the type of questions that are quite long. So it was very hard to kind of like repeat all of the words for that sentence. So what I did was just to really repeat all of the words that I can remember. And I believe that it worked because even though I wasn't really able to repeat 100% of the words for that sentence, I still got 90 in the speaking section.
Let's talk about the template for describe image or read a lecture. So did it really help?
Yeah. Well, just to give a background, I think for these 2 sections, personally, it was the hardest for me. I always kind of like get low scores when I was practicing. So I really tried to do more of like a trial and error. I tried to apply also different templates until I was able to found or learn the templates that you taught during the live class. And for me, what I really like most about the template that you taught is that it is very easy to understand. You just have to memorize, I think, around 4 sentences, and then you can apply it to multiple sections of the exam. So you can apply it to describe image, read a lecture, and even the summarized spoken text. So for me, it really made my life easier because it kind of like, I just have to memorize one template and then applied it to multiple sections of the exam.
That's actually true. Like it's very easy, right? You
Yeah,
memorize
yeah,
only one
very,
template, but you can cover 3 very important topics in your
yeah.
PT. Okay. In regards to the template, again, what about essay? Do you find the essay template
Well, I
easy
think when it
or
comes to
difficult?
the essay template, so I find that it is very easy to understand. You do not actually need a deep vocabulary in order for you to understand the context of the template. So it will then be eventually, it will be easier to memorize. But I think it might just be challenging at first to memorize because it tends to be longer compared to the other templates. But eventually, once you are really able to memorize it by heart, no matter what the question, no matter what the subject given to you during the exam, you just apply it and then you will definitely get 90. So for me, what I did was in order for me to memorize it easily, so what I did was just to write the template over and over again until I was really able to memorize it word for word, so that I am also sure that I will not make any grammatical mistakes. And eventually, once you are able to really memorize it, you don't even need to write the template in the notepad during the exam. You can write the template directly or type the template directly in the box during the writing portion.
Yeah, that's, I think, a very informative message that you are telling. It's actually true. Like when you are typing the template by your own at home, like several
Yeah.
times, you do not need to type it in the notepad in
Yeah, yeah.
your exam, right? You can directly write the template and then you fill it, the template and everything. And at the end, definitely revise and make sure that there is no
Yeah.
grammatical errors, right? So if we talk about dictations, right from dictations, you know that this is one of the most important topics. I would say that this carries the highest score in your PT exam, right? So what are the tricks actually you use? Did you add any extra word or what did you manage?
Yeah.
How
Well,
did
I
you
think
manage?
Yeah. Well, I think when it comes to the write from dictation, so it's very important to practice. I practiced more or less, I think, around 400 questions, and I did add extra words during the exam. So it is very helpful to add, or that trick is very helpful because what is tricky for this portion is that sometimes you tend to be not quite sure if you've heard the word correctly. So what you can do is just to write, the words that you feel is right, and then because there is no negative markings. What I also did during that time, but I think this is more on my personal strategy. So I write while listening. So I type while I was listening. Although there are certain words that I had to shortcut. So after the recording ended, what I did was to go back to what I wrote, make sure that I spelled it out correctly already before I submitted my answer. So you are correct. This is basically the kind of like the most important part, especially when it comes to the listening section. But unfortunately, it is also the last part in the listening section. So it is very important to manage your time well, because it is the last part, and then you also need to kind of like revise whatever you wrote so that to make sure that you are able to provide the correct answer. So again, time management for me is really also the key when it comes to this section.
Yeah, that's true. Because we usually inform that if you remember that you must keep minimum 6 minutes in your hand
Yeah.
before you start your write from dictations,
Yeah.
right? Okay, great. So I would like to know, do you think that we are the best PT teachers?
Yeah, well, I think, my answer with that. So definitely I know that, I believe that you guys are really the best in terms of PT teaching, as well as, having this platform wherein you can really practice for the PT exam. So for me, what I really appreciate, or basically based on my experience, as I've mentioned, I've also tried like other templates, look also for other resources. But what really worked for me, or what the things that I've learned in class, I really appreciate, also all of the teachers during the live class. You do have a lot of patience when it comes to answering a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And also, I also really appreciate the flexibility that you guys offer when it comes to the schedule, because even if you missed a class, you can just watch the uploaded class discussion so that you can catch up with the lesson. So for me, definitely 100%, I would highly recommend this, not only to my friends, but also to the future takers or anyone who really is aiming to get high scores for the PTA exam.
Okay, I'm so happy to hear about that. And you got 90, like all 90s, and we are proud of. Wish you all the best. And thank you so much for giving us time for your interview. I hope that this video will be helpful for the future PT test takers, right? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much also. And I've messaged you already. Sorry, this is off the record, but I messaged you already. So thank you so much as well for all the help. And again, this would not have been possible without your help. So thank you very much.
You are also very promising student. So you work so hard and you deserve the score. So yeah, all the best,
Thank
Erica.
you.
Thank
All
you
the best
so
also.
much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.